Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Important Decisions. My name is Jason Helmstetter, and I thought I'd jump on a little bit tonight just to talk about the whole bottle hunting, uh, the tatering, if you will, and maybe break down some notions that just because it's highly sought after, that it makes it better than stuff that you might regularly find on your shelf. And so I decided that I'm going to pit what are, I guess, in my opinion, historically, some of the more tater bottles. And that's going to be a lineup of some of the Wellers against some shelfers that I believe hit right where they do, if not a bit above. So I'm going to blind them against each other, just a head to head. Nothing too scientific. I've not had a pour at all today. And so my palate's pretty fresh with everything. And I thought I'd jump into stuff that is so similar to each other that it might be difficult to even discern which one is which. So the first one that we'll start with is the Weller Special Reserve. And for those of y'all that know, this is, entry level. It's varies depending on your market, anywhere from the high 20s to maybe the mid 30s um, in terms of the cost. And, you know, proof on this is right at 92. And I'm bringing it up against the NDP, the Penelope Weeded. It's hard to see, but it's in there. The label's somewhere on there. Anywho, this is a bottle that's on shelves everywhere, and it sits for about $29. Sometimes, if you got the right grocery store manager, they've marked them down a little bit. Um, so that's where I'm at. I've had my lovely wife pour a couple, and I'm truly going to do these blind. I'm not going to see any of the color. We're going to go off of nose, we're going to go off the palate and the finish. And when I get through it, I'll share my results. I'll hit the pause. I'm not quitting, I'm not editing, but I'm going to pause this. I'm then going to jump into maybe a Weller Antique up against another shelfer. And if my palate's holding up, a foolproof against another foolproof. And I thought I would do a foolproof single barrel, so a store pick from Weller against a recent pick that we did here at Easy Liquor. So let's get into it. Let's start with the one that's on my right. Uh, so again, it's not a real robust nose. It's because it's light. It's 92 proof. We know it's a weeded. There's a sweetness that comes out of it. That caramel or caramel for those of you that refuse to say it the way I do. But overall, really, really good nose for a bottle. Again, that's $30 or so. And both of these are about that same price point. I think some stores still have jacked up that Weller Special Reserve, and sometimes they're asking 40 or 45, which is just asinine to me. This one, the nose is missing a little bit. It's not as sweet forward as the other one, so I'm not sure which one's which yet. But I'm gonna jump in on the right one again. And there's no burn to it. There's no bite. This is an easy daily sipper or your starter pour for the evening if you're going to work through a few different ones. I think it's worth every bit of that $30, but I wouldn't go above it. Just it is what it is. I think there's some other stuff for $5 to $10 more that will just bring it home to you. But again, for those people that are just starting off in their bourbon journey or their whiskey journey, I think this right here is these are great entry levels. There's a little bit of cherry there, real subtle. It almost felt like not a chocolate covered cherry, but almost like you had broken the chocolate around like one of those Christmas cherries. It's a cordial that's in that cream. Very light, very faint, but that's what it gave me a reminder of. So now I'm going to move on to the second one. So different nose. It's a lighter nose. It's not so um, again, the sweetness wasn't there, but that palate, when it first hits, it's just easy smooth. Um, there's not a finish, not a deep lingering finish on it. I felt like the first one had a little bit more on that first pour, but again, that might have just been because it was my first pour of the day. We'll come back to this again. Easy sip, easy sip. I think I know which one's which. Um, if I was guessing, I would think, well, I'm going to wait. Um, what I'd like to say is that I think you could literally exchange both of these, put the juice in the other one's bottle, and folks might be confused. They may not be able to discern which is which. That's how similar they are. And I can't help but believe that this Penelope, when they brought this out, they're like, hey, we're going to target that Weller Special Reserve audience out there. We're going to bring in a weeder, 92 proof, price point slightly under what some people are selling it for, and we're going to make it readily available. I honestly can say I've seen the Penelope go for as low as like 23.99 at our local Woodman's grocery. Weller Special Reserve in the right market, they're keeping it real. They're putting it right down around that 26, $27 mark. But I've honestly been in those stores that they got the whole Weller rainbow set up, and you know why it's there because they got it marked up at museum prices. So I believe both of these are equally good, and I believe that whichever one is which, you'd be happy with. Um, so that being said, let's find out which one's which. So A, let's see, there should be there's an A right there. Turn it around. Ta-da. That's A. This is the one that was on my right, and that's a B right there. I liked things about both of them, and there were little things about each that was like, huh. But again, $30 bottle. What do you expect? So let's find out what was what. A was the Weller, and B was the Penelope. Again, I have it right there. See, those are written down. Very scientific here in the the Homesteader household with us. So again, I think you could switch both these bottles, the juice that's in them, and folks will be confused. And you'd walk into some party, and whoever is there, if they're brand new to the whiskey world, and they're like, "Oh, I love Sazerac. I want some Wellers," they would think, "Oh, that's great." And then you'd be like, "Aha, it was Penelope. Gotcha, bitch." Or vice versa. You could surprise them with the Penelope, and maybe they're like, "Oh, I love Penelope because I like that Rio, I like that Havana, I like what they've done with their cat strengths, and I love what they do with their new Founders Estates." But again, a $30 bottle can't go wrong. That's all for now. I'm going to move on to some different pours. We're going to pause this and come right back. Everybody, I'm back. Took a little longer than normal. It's because my wife's working on a project. We have a high school senior graduating next week, so you know how things are. Everything's got to be in tip-top shape. So I've decided this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go with the Weller Antique 107 proof, and I'm going to put it up against an everyday shelfer that many of you might walk past on a shelf anywhere. And these are, I want to say, $40 to $45. And this is, it says cat strength, but this is one that's at 109.7 proof. This is from 2022. And they put out multiple of these expressions. I'm not sure if they're doing 3 or 4 a year. or they're once a quarter, but these cast strengths are phenomenal. And again, people are out there chasing this. I think the MSRP, everybody has a different MSRP. I don't care. Let's say suggested retail, not manufacturers, but the suggested retail I think is around $50 to $55 a bottle, depending on your market though. Some markets, distributors are kicking it up a little bit, or if you're not getting a full case of it, it's a split case fee. So, maybe you're having to spend 65 on it. But the secondary market is still pushing these at depending on how many bottles you're buying, 90 to anywhere to 110. But again, you're taking a chance buying on that secondary. Whereas this feller is sitting out there everywhere for again 40 to $45. So get into them. Once again, we rinsed, dried these Glens. That's what took longer. I have only two of these. Um, And I do like these for the pure of because certain things, if you see it in the bottle, oh, that's darker than this one. They can give it away, and then people will try to act like they can't. And then they guess it amazingly because their palate is so refined. Bullshit. So, once again, I'm going to start on the right side here. And you have to forgive me for my lighting. I'm trying to play with some things. And when I sit here with the shelves behind me, there's a light right back here that just puts down a glare. So I blacked out or turned off all the lights down here in the bar except for the behind the bar lights and what they might call a studio light that's sitting here, hopefully hiding half the wrinkles on my face. So that's a beautiful nose. It's richer than what we had with the first two. Again, we've jumped up in proof, 15 to 17 points, and just the initial nose on this. There's more body. There's that caramel. There's a bit of toffee, kind of a buttery. Oh, it smells great. This one isn't hitting my nose as much as the first one did, the one on the right. It's there, but I'm really having a nose for it. Yeah, it's just a little bit more subdued, kind of sitting a little bit lower. So, see what we got. Mm, much better than the first two we got into. That's just hands down. You like that little bit of the proof. And for me, as I've kind of gotten further along in my bourbon, where I started off with the real low proofs, and I kind of pushed right on through the 100s and the 110s into the 120s, 130s, and those hazmats, which is dangerous because hazmats, you drink a couple 1.5 ounce pours of that. Oh shit. It's like the equivalent of what, 4 or 5 1.5 ounce pours of 100 proof. I don't know if my math is mathing, but we'll call it that. Real good, easy finish. It's just subtle. A little bit of a very similar, which almost makes me think what it is. A little bit of cherry on that back end. Right as I swallowed, it was like, oh, there's a little bit of a fruit. Nothing burning at all, though. So that one's there. It's real sweet. It's smooth. It's a very approachable bourbon, and it it definitely checks the boxes. Again, for 107 proof, 109 proof, whichever one it may be, it definitely marks the boxes for you. I think it's absolutely delicious as well. Again, the palate's it's smooth all the way around. I don't have that full mouth coating like I got with the other one. Um, I just felt like the other one a little bit more, lack of a better. It had a little bit more oil feel to it. So I think that hit well. So the first one we're going to see, that's A again, because it's on the right. And then here's our B. There we go. There's the B. Let's see what she gave me. Kind of got a hint of that. A is the makers, and B is the Weller. So again, I talked about this when the nose was a bit more prominent. The mouthfeel was there. It just felt like it gave me a little bit more. This one, again, bit subdued on the nose. And the mouthfeel was great. The palate was very smooth, but it just didn't bring the same that the makers did. And, I'm not going to lie to anybody. When I first started this, I, like everybody, I got to get some Wellers. I got to chase it. And I always looked at makers and I thought, why do they got to wax that label? It's kind of gimmicky. And I hadn't drank anything special from them. And, it might just been like their everyday, you know, 80 proofer, whatever it might be. But I have found these bottles to be just absolutely delicious. And I am so happy that that was the one I was more favoring. Um, I didn't quite put my opinion all the way out there, but there was just something about it that was giving me more. And you're getting it for less, for $45 a bottle, and it's everywhere on your shelves. So, sure, go get one. Say you have it. No problem. But this guy, put it on your shelf. And if you look, which way should I lean? I'll lean this way. All that red wax back there, those are all different makers because I joined their ambassador program. And I'm very fortunate that they ship to one of the states that I have a family member living, and they're willing to accept those deliveries. So their wood finishing series, uh, you know, the the cellar aged, all amazing, and they're available. The Stewards is sitting on shelves all over the place right now. Get out and get some. Try it and blind these yourself and see what's going on. So when we come back, I'm going to hit the pause again, and I have an interesting one. And I'm going to do it. We're going to go with the Weller Foolproof Store Pick, so it's a single barrel, up against a Blue Note Store Pick at cast strength. Foolproof. It should be a pretty neat battle. I want to see how it plays out. I'll see you back here in just a couple. All right, everybody, I'm back and got the glasses cleaned back out. Glenn's cleaned back out. And as mentioned, we're going to put this up. This is going to be a Weller Foolproof from Chuck's Wine and Spirits. Oh, we've got a bad glare. You're doing this backward here. Anyways, Chuck's Wine and Spirits, which is down in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Got turned on to that place by one of my closest friends, Mr. Scott Sebastian, who looking forward to seeing you next week for the party. And then this is one of two barrels that landed. Gosh, the lights are just horrible. Sorry, y'all. Blue Note cast strength. And this was an easy liquor pick that we did. And I'd like to see how it goes. And as you know, the Weller Foolproof is 114 proof. And our pick here is 115.9. So it's the Blue Note weeded. Let's get into nosing now. Glasses kind of got mixed up. I don't want to look at the bottoms because I think that could give it away. Um, let's see what they bring. Yeah, we're stepping up in proof. Another depending on which one of these. If we're coming from the 107, then we're getting up into 8, uh, 7 to 8 points higher. If we're messing with the makers, we're coming up about 5 to 6.5 points higher. But there's something a little bit more there. that's a more, even a better mouthfeel. Uh, like we're kind of getting right into where these are like my wheelhouse. Like I said, 105, 115, I think it's great. Um, that first sip of this one here, I think it's an absolute banger. I don't care which one it is, it's good. But to catch one of these is quite rare. You know, the market on them is still only supposed to be, I believe, 65 to 70, maybe $75. Again, depending on your market. But then to get one of these single barrels is difficult because they go so damn fast. People will sit out there. One member of the couple will show up and bring their significant other. Then they bring some friend who doesn't drink whiskey. Then they got their mama and their daddy, and they're trying to. Oh, I got four. Oh, it's like, geez, did you need those four? If you want four different single barrels, go get them, but don't take four of the same. Let somebody else enjoy the experience. Um, so again, I'm gonna come back to this one. I thought it was delicious. It's very very good. The mouthfeel, that caramel, the when they shock wheat, I almost feel like it's almost like a little bit of a tinge of honey that comes out there. It's an absolute beautiful pour. This one on the nose isn't as lack of a better way of saying it, it's not as smooth as what I thought this one was. Still very much, that caramel. There's a toffiness to it, buttery, but almost like it cooked a little bit too long. Mm. But that mouth, that palate on it, is absolutely delicious. I would almost think that it was a quasi honey barrel. Uh, very easy to sip, very approachable. Yeah, it's delicious. Equal to the other one, which again, I don't know which one's which at this point, but yet there's differences in them that I think are worth having. And wow, right there came out something fruity right on the first, um, on that second sip, sorry, but right as it hit the tip of my tongue. And it's absolutely delicious. Uh, Man, it's got me wondering which one's which. So again, I think you can't go wrong with either one. I'm truly confused on this one. I ain't gonna lie. I thought when I got into this one, it was probably the Weller Foolproof. Then I got into this, thinking, huh, that's reminded me a lot. It's giving me some similar characteristics from the Antique 107. So, fuck, I don't know, but that's the fun of it. It's totally blind. I think they're both delicious. One of them's real hard to find. The other one, yeah, it's difficult to find because it is a barrel pick. However, you can go and find Blue Note weeded out there. It's hit the markets. And so you won't go wrong getting it. And again, you're talking a $50 bottle against a 60 to $75 bottle, but you're chasing them. You might pay north of 100, maybe 120, 150 for these. Yet this pour will get you just as good looking as the other. So the one on the right is B. Okay, you see the B? You see the B right there? The one on the left, that's our A. So again, I thought the nose on this one was really coming up well. The mouthfeel was there, and it was just absolutely delicious. This second one, the nose is a little bit more, so again, a little bit more muted, but when it hit, I thought it was absolutely delicious. There was a little bit of that cherry again, and I think that right there tells me I think this one is the Weller, and the first one that I sipped from was the Blue Note. But let's find out. We are correct. So again, Stephanie put the Weller in the A and Blue Note in B. So this Blue Note is absolutely hitting. I The bottle's been open for about 2 weeks. I first had a pour of it. I like to crack it. I wanted to see how it opened up a bit. This one's obviously been open a little bit longer because a lot of my buddies, when they come over, oh, can I have a sip of foolproof? I swear to God, if I put this in that bottle, they would not know the difference. And it is absolutely banging. And we still got about 4 cases at Easy Liquor. So that's even better. And for the 51.99, go and check out Sunny. Say, hey, let me get a bottle of that. Maybe I can convince him to say, hey, if you cite my podcast or this episode, maybe he'll give you a discount. I don't know, but I'll twist his arm to see if it works. He ain't gonna give you up no foolproof though, because they ain't there. But these are. That's the cool shit. And we also still at that store have the regular weeded, which is at 101 proof. So why not give it a shot? I thought that this one far out outmatched the Tater bottle. I thought the same with the makers. I thought the Penelope and the Reserve were very similar, too close to call. But knowing that I can walk into any liquor store and get this bad boy or a different variation of it, maybe it's the 23 or the 2401 or the 2402, buy it. 45 bucks. You see a cast strength weeded, buy it, please. They're absolutely delicious. And whiskey's about the experience and sharing it with people. Yeah, it's great to have shelves full of great booze. And I'm very fortunate. And I don't get me wrong, I'm very fortunate to have the whiskeys that I do. But I have so much stuff that's not quote unquote tater because there's so many good people out there making great whiskeys. So check it out. These are the decisions that are very important. You can go broke chasing all these sons of bitches, but again, secondary, you're probably paying for at least in the last recent months 150, maybe 100, maybe 140 if you're getting lucky. But 51.99 for the Blue Note, which is gorgeous. 3 to 1. Yeah. Even bourbon math knows that's the right pick. So I thank you if you stuck around all this time. It's been a long, half hour. Um, I enjoy doing this. I got to get people on here though to talk whiskey with me because it is so difficult to do this solo. Um, there's things that I'll rant about and rave about, and you know, like and subscribe. And again, when we get to 150, I'm gonna give away a tater bottle. It'll probably be a Weller antique. I ain't gonna lie to you because I know so many of you would love it, and so many of you have never seen one or had it. So if I can make that happen for you, I will. But damn it, at the same time, I want to give you one of these and let you blind them yourself. So maybe I'll include a sample with it, with that bottle. So get us to 150 subscribers. That's not much. I know I'm just small potatoes, and shit, I might be a guy that pisses you off when he meets you because sometimes I just say what I'm thinking. We all get to that age. And I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't mean to make anybody feel less because that's not what I'm about. But sometimes you just got to call people on the bullshit. And I think it's bullshit that we're going to pass up on really good bottles. So make important decisions. Come back and see me again. I'll have some friends here. We're going to talk whiskey. We're going to talk life. We'll talk whatever it is, raising kids, sports, whatever. I love y'all. I appreciate you if you stuck around. Have a great night.